I mean, we had the days when...
Did they come before you or after you?
I have a brother ahead and one behind and then the last. Now, there's a day that when the boys have to cook, when we're growing up, their food was usually pounded yam. And, they used to give them really difficult things. All my brothers cook.
Yeah.
So cooking was not a thing for females.
Yes.
I didn't grow up in a house where you would say this is for men and this is for women. And, you know, every time I go to speak to young girls, I say to them, I said, this is funny. All through your life, you have competed on a level playing field with the boys.
Yeah.
From school, when you come first, you don't come first among girls.
Because you're female, yes.
Secondary school, uni, in the workplace, and then suddenly they tell you you have to reduce yourself in order to find a husband. That's where the problem starts.
You agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
you have to... I mean, I've been in situations where, I mean, just because of the kind of program I host, where you hear a woman say, you know, if she gets a second degree, who will marry her?
I know. No, it's ridiculous.
So what's the repercussion of that? Because now our theme for the International Women's Month, Be Bold for Change, one of the side themes is equal pay, you know, I mean, 50-50 by 2030. Mean that men and women will earn the same thing. Is that an issue in Africa?
Absolutely. I think absolutely that's an issue because, you know, you go to many enterprises, you go to many companies, and at the top, the leadership are all men. And so women aren't, you know, at the higher you go.
Is that because women don't aspire?
No, it's because...
I'll use my organization, for instance. One of the first things I said is we must have a creche.
Right.
So we have a creche. Because as a young working mother, I don't think you should give up one for the other.
Yeah.
You cannot. So you have a baby and you have to bring your child with you. There's someone there. And that is so that you can give your all, knowing your child is okay. And I'll tell you what has happened. Even the young men who have little children bring their children
That's
there.
excellent.
Because the places where their wives work hasn't made profit. I think it should be compulsory.
It is.
I don't think you need to give up one for the other.
You shouldn't choose.
I think they can all work hand in hand. So I have staff who have children under a year and they can stay till 9. Why? Because their child is just downstairs. And so, I mean, there's nothing stopping them.
So, okay, what do you think?
Well, I think really commendable, you know, action there, because even, you know, where in the UK, in the US, these things are issues. They're big issues that not many employers provide that. So hats off to you.
So the question is, when it comes to work,
yeah.
we shouldn't just say choose work or family.
No, you shouldn't. But I feel like women, when you get to a certain point, like after I achieved a lot very quickly, but then you get to marriageable age and it's like everyone's, oh, okay, what's going on? Are you gonna get married? Like, what's happening? And so you feel like all your achievements are minimized until you get married, that your biggest achievement...
We're not saying marriage is bad here, are we?
No, we're not saying marriage is bad, but it's not the greatest achievement you can have as a woman. And don't minimize yourself and don't diminish your efforts. Oh, I'm going to wait till I'm married before I buy a car, before I do this. You know, don't do that.
You. I mean, if you're married to your friend,
absolutely,
yeah,
it is easy because the person wants what is best for you and what makes you happy. And so marriage should be what brings out the best in you.
Okay, I think we should end this by making it very clear. I know that your father played a good role in Big Busari. Your father played a good role, so did mine. But were they strange men or they had mothers that, I mean, my father, I knew it was his mother. My father respected his mom, and so he tried to raise his daughters to achieve. So it's coming back to us as women.
Yeah.
If we have to be bold, we should be bold to raise our sons.
I think it's what we tell our children. Both,
both men.
The girls and the boys.
So what should we tell the girls?
The girls, you can do and be anything you want to be.
And the boys?
The boys, treat your partner with respect.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing.
Absolutely. I mean, so as a mother of a 6-year-old...
6-year-old
girl who's told all the time, oh, you're so pretty, you're so cute. You know, I emphasize to her how important it is to be smart. Like being pretty is not the most important thing.
Because smart will remain there.
My daughter is into photography.
Yeah.
She handles the camera. She edits. She's in uni in London now.
Yeah.
I mean, she's had her own art exhibition. She has her own art blog and all of that. And I keep saying to her, you are very pretty.
But what? There needs to be something there. Absolutely.
That's what's going to pay the bill.
So we're not knocking pretty.
No, we're not knocking
we're just
it,
knocking
but
pretty, but
it's not
that's-
the most important thing. And
But
also,
can men handle smart women?
how long have you
Let's
got?
train our men. Let's train our men to know that it is okay. In fact, it is compulsory that you have a smart woman.
Well, of course, because
I mean,
a smart woman by your side will make you
It's
more
an
successful.
asset. It's an asset, not a liability.
Yeah.
Once we start to teach the boys that having a smart woman is actually an asset, there's no
Yeah.
competition. You're the man. You're the head of the home. But she's not a slave, she's by your side.
Exactly.
And having her there with you is an asset to you. Every time people want to commend her, they're going to say, oh, she has a good husband.
Yeah.
Because no matter how well you do, people are going to commend the husband, even if he has nothing to do
So what
with
are our
it.
final words for our viewers today on the issue of being bold for change?
Being bold for change. Just go for it. Go after what you want to do. Don't let your gender or perceptions about your gender hold you back. You know, women have achieved and can achieve many great things. So, yeah.
Your
that's-
dream.
Yes, go for it.
Dream big.
Yes, always. I mean, no limitations. Gender can never be a limitation.
Yeah.
It's actually an asset.
But it has some side effects, though.
What
It does
are
have
the
sometimes people will think you're a terror.
Well, that's...
Well, I don't think people think I'm a terror. I honestly don't. I think my staff love
but
me.
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with
But
being a terror?
they know that I draw the line. Work is work and play is play.
Yeah.
We don't mix both.
Yeah.
And don't think because I'm female, I'm going to let some things slide. Because I didn't get to where I am
By
doing
letting
that.
things slide, yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, for you to, again, it's the stereotyping. If a man did that, nobody's going to talk. If a woman does that, oh, she had a bad day, her husband insulted her, oh, what happened to her on the road? People start to look for reasons
So I think the
other
question
than
really
facing
remains,
what the issue is.
which is why this whole month I've been talking to women. The question remains in having strong women who trust what they do
Yes.
and who
Very
do it well
important.
enough that nobody can say,
Absolutely.
You know, nobody can take what you guys have achieved away from you.
no,
You're
you
pretty
can't.
and you're raising kids who are successful. So the question is, we must raise our children right and ensure that they do, especially the boys.
The
if you ask me.
boys, it's very important because boys are going to be fathers and husbands, and you know, raise them to treat their wives and their girlfriends as partners, not as slaves and not as lesser than them. That's very important.
Thank you very much for being on the show. I
Thank
appreciate it. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, it does.
So it wasn't
Thank
so
you for
bad
having
being
me.
on this
No,
side.
it wasn't. It
It was a
wasn't.
conversation.
It was a lovely conversation. Really great.
Thank you very much. If we have not been able to convince you with all our arguments that you're better off raising sons that would be great husbands and daughters that would be great wives, as an aside, that's not what defines them. So for me, that's what being bold means. Being bold to be who you are called to be. A Mr., a Miss, or a Mrs., or a Ms., whichever. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week.